The day the sky fell, Zara Malik had never believed in omens, but when the doctor's sterile voice declared her daughter alive but failing, her world contracted into a pinpoint of terror. Her daughter, Layla, vibrant, clever, and stubborn, was dying. The diagnosis was acute. Possibilities were bleak. Zara's nights became vigilances at Layla's bedside, in corridors perfumed with antiseptic and hollow echoes of beeping monitors. There was no prelude to this calamity, nothing that suggested the tipping point was so near. And yet life kept spinning. On a gray twilight, with the sun dissolving into bruised clouds, a phone buzzed insistently in Zara's pocket while she waited in the hospital garden, a frail scarf wrapped around her shoulders. "Mom," came a voice she hardly recognized. It was her son, Sammy, electrified, agitated. "I'm out with friends. We'll be late." The words struck her like a blow. Sammy was supposed to be at the hospital with her. Instead, he was elsewhere, laughing, phone lit with images that felt like betrayal. Zara didn't speak. Her breath hitched like a shard of glass digging into her chest. Something inside her cracked. Chapter 2. Roads taken and lost. Sammy had changed. In his early 20s, once thoughtful and attentive, he had drifted into a hazy culture of parties, arbitrary thrills, and hollow declarations of freedom. Zara remembered the boy who had held his sister's hand at school shows, the boy who had read poetry to her at bedtime. But that boy seemed as distant as childhood itself. "Late," Zara typed back, hand trembling. "Your sister is dying." No reply. She walked back into the hospital, chest tight, mind tearing between grief and disbelief. That night, she saw pictures of Sammy on social media, laughter with girls, smoke and neon lights, a life that seemed careless and unmoored. With every double tap of the screen, the fissure between mother and son seemed to widen. Chapter 3. The silence that follows storms. Days passed. Layla's condition worsened. Nurses whispered of time measured not in weeks, but in fragile hours. And Sammy remained absent. His excuses were flimsy, rehearsed. He spoke of unfair expectations and burdens he never asked for. Zara felt rage and yearning in equal measure, both sharpened by the sting of loss. One evening, as the hospital lights dimmed for night, Zara sat alone in the waiting room. Her phone lit up again. "Can we talk?" Sammy wrote. She didn't answer. Instead, she rose and walked to Layla's room. The door was ajar. Layla lay pale but smiling weakly at the familiar face of her mother. No words were needed. They understood each other beyond speech. "Mom," whispered Layla. "It's okay." Tears stung Zara's eyes, a tempest of sorrow and love crashing at once. "I'm here," she said. "I'm right here." Chapter 4. The consequence of choices. Sammy finally appeared one afternoon, dusty from streets that seemed unconquered and wild. Standing at the threshold of the hospital room, he looked smaller than Zara remembered, as if life's weight had finally gathered on his shoulders. He didn't speak at first. Just stood, eyes glistening with remorse and an unfamiliar vulnerability. When he did speak, it was as if each word was laced with regret. "I thought I had time," he said. "I thought she had time." The room was silent except for the faint hum of machines monitoring Layla's breath. Zara felt each word drop like rubble in her chest. Sammy sank into a chair, defeated, not by illness, but by the reality he had avoided for too long. "I wasn't there," he whispered. "I ran instead of facing it." Zara's eyes softened, not in absolution, but in recognition of human frailty. "We don't always know better," she said. "But we can learn." Chapter 5. Forgiveness in the ruins. The days that followed were a testament to how hearts, though broken, could still be mended. Sammy began spending quiet mornings in the hospital garden, beside Zara, beside Layla, learning to be present. Zara forgave, not out of weakness, but because forgiveness was the balm that eased the agony in her bones. Layla, with all her courage, taught them about grace, smiling in the face of pain, holding on to moments like threads of light. On a late winter afternoon, where the sun hung low and amber in the sky, Layla opened her eyes and whispered, "I'm grateful." It was a phrase that resonated with the fragile beauty of a sunset, like hope emerging from sorrow. Chapter 6. Rebuilding from loss. Months passed after Layla's final breath. The world felt both heavier and fuller, burdened by absence, yet rich with memories. Zara and Sammy found solace in talking, not about the past they wished they could change, but about the future they could shape. Sammy returned to university, changed in demeanor and purpose. He volunteered at community centers, helping families facing crises, a way of giving back life to broken pieces of his own. Zara found strength in writing, sharing her story in essays and talks, reminding others that regret could become compassion, and pain could transmute into empathy. Chapter 7. A life defined by love. Years later, the wound of loss had softened into a bittersweet companion, a reminder that while life can fracture you, it can also forge resilience. Zara and Sammy stood at the edge of a garden where Layla once played. Flowers bloomed in riotous colors, and the breeze carried the whisper of memory, gentle, persistent, beautiful. They spoke of Layla as if she were still living in the corners of their heart, because in truth she did, in every kindness, every forgiveness extended to another. Their story became a testament to the enduring nature of love, an understanding that life's greatest sorrows can coexist with its deepest joys, and that forgiveness does not erase pain, but gives still healing. Like and subscribe.